Okay. Thank you everyone that has chosen to join us today, and a special thanks to everybody that is willing to share what they have built and learned in Canvas. And we're going to hear from several different people, so I'm not going to waste a bunch of time blubbering in the front. I'll just hand it off to Katie Burpo and see what everybody has created.
I'm just sharing my screen. Okay, well, I'm Katie Burpo. I teach in the English and Creative Writing department, and I started using Canvas 1 week before school started. And what I have on the screen here is my first year seminar page, which is called From Swift to South Park. So it's a class about satire and comedy. I created the banner image that you see on Canva, which I wanted to tab to, but there's oh, there it is. Okay. So that's how I did the banner image. It's a Facebook cover photo template, and then I just added everything that I wanted to make it kind of match the content of my class. So I just downloaded that as a PNG. And then, oh, if I can get back to my, this is kind of hard with the little thingy at the top. There we go. Okay. So I have underneath the banner the essential information that's duplicated on the syllabus. And then I also like to create my daily schedule in a Google Doc. So you just click it and you can see all the work for the entire semester, because I don't have every single week planned out right now. I just have up to fall break. So that's kind of convenient, because then you can make changes throughout the semester without rehanding out a paper copy of the syllabus. So on Moodle, I liked to create bulleted lists of instructions for each class period. So to me, the easiest way to do this in Canvas was to create buttons that linked to pages. So each of these little characters is a button that I created on Canva. They're 200 pixels by 200 pixels. I thought was a good size to start from scratch. So each button links to the corresponding week's work. So when you click on week 1, it takes you to the work for week 1. It's really similar to editing a topic on Moodle, so that's why I found it to be the easiest way to kind of reuse everything I had on Moodle in the Canvas platform. So I just typed out my instructions for each day, then drag and drop all of the documents that I need them to either print or read or whatever I'm having them do. And then after fall break, I will put up the rest of the semester's work. I've gotten good feedback from the students about this. They've said it's pretty user friendly, and it was very fun to make a South Park themed page. So that's all I have.
Sorry, I was muted. Thanks for sharing that. I love seeing everybody's creativity. So next we're going to listen to Lauren Ryan and what she's created.
Let me do screen share. Validation that you can see my page.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So this is a page I have for a 300 level course. I teach in the exercise science department. And in this course specifically, we do a lot of hands-on things. So I wanted things to be pretty user-friendly, since there's a lot going on in the class throughout the semester. This is my, I think, 4th academic year using Canvas. When I was a graduate student at IUPUI, teaching as part of my assistantship. And then when I taught part-time at the college for a year and a half, we used Canvas. And so it was pretty familiar to me. But I've actually had a lot of questions, actually, because there's just so many features. And so I thought I was a pro, and I ended up having a lot of questions. So if anyone's felt discouraged by Canvas, please don't. There's a lot to learn. And so in this page here, I created this banner that was actually already created by Ashley. And so I was just able to open that up in Canva. And for all of my classes, I have the same banner at the top, and I would just change the color for different images, change the course title. And so most of my home pages actually look the same for all of my classes. And so I have a section just called Let's Get Connected with my information. They can click and view my LinkedIn profile, some other information about contacting me, my office hours. So kind of that top of the syllabus that probably a lot of us have, all of our basic information. I have that on the homepage, just so it's very easily accessible for them to see. I have an SI for that course, so I have information about those sessions. And then from the homepage, they essentially can get to the syllabus or in modules. And the same thing, this was something that Ashley already created and had in the modules because I used the weekly template over from Commons that she created. And the same thing, I've done a lot with Canva just outside and personally as well. For example, the bachelorette party. I feel like Canva is pretty user-friendly. The same thing, I created one of these in different colors for each of my courses. And so if I were to go to the student view, you can see really all they have access to is the syllabus and modules, because that's where I dump all of our stuff. So for example, if you were to click syllabus from here, I actually copy and pasted most of my syllabus into this blank page so that anything with the hyperlink, they could actually click that from the page. And then if you click the actual link, they can download the PDF. And then if they were to scroll down, they can see a week by week view of what we're doing in class that week. And so if we were back on the home page and you clicked on modules, I organize everything in my class by kind of main documents that they need. We do something called Franklin Fit in this class where they personal train a client at Otterbein Senior Life every week. So we have information related to that. And then I typically organize by weeks. So then they'll see this weekly view of an overview of what we're doing for the week, any related resources, and then they'd see quizzes, assignments, and those kind of things. But for the most part, that is mine. Outside of this, I've kept it pretty simple. And so I really like utilizing pages because you can drop in hyperlinks, add in photos, and it makes it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to look at. But that is my page, and I will stop sharing now.
Great. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
Love all the little buttons. They're so fun. Okay. So next we have Katie Harris.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm gonna get my screen shared here. I just pressed share and I have like 1 million things open. It's like, which of these million things would you like to share? 1 second, sorry. Hey, Ashley. I forgot like updated security preferences. It says I need to quit Zoom and reopen to be allowed to share. Could the next person go and I go after them?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave and rejoin and then I'll share next. Sorry for
Okay.
number 4 to put you on the spot.
Nope, you're fine. Okay. Then let's look at Robin's course. There we go.
Okay, so I had never used a Canvas before, and I went to the training sessions and I imported everything from Moodle. And when I opened it, everything was kind of dumped in this haphazard way. And I found out that modules are kind of equal to what the Moodle kind of weeks were. And I thought, well, I want to sort of organize it in a better way. I went online and I found a YouTube video that I'll be happy to share the link to that kind of talked about how to build a course in Canvas. I found it very helpful. And part of it was that he provided like links to download buttons that you could use. And so I did those, and let me bring you to, and the buttons were very basic. And then I saw Katie Burpo's page and I thought, well, let me try to up my game here. So for my first year seminar class, it's very similar to what I do with my Moodle pages. I put a lot of stuff from the syllabus on the opening page, and then I have these links to course information. This was a book in Moodle, and you click it on, and it has everything that's on the syllabus. Students can access the syllabus by clicking on the syllabus, but if they want to know, hey, what is the course, what are the grading scale, and they click on that, everything is sort of, I pulled everything out from the syllabus and gave it its own little label, and they can just, if they just want one thing from the syllabus, they don't have to go through the whole syllabus. They can just click on course information, and it's there for them. And so then weekly schedules, they click that on, and then it sort of links to the where the Moodle pages I had to clean them up a little bit, but you click this on and it will take you to the individual week and what we're doing in class every week, so they can sort of keep up with what's coming up. And then I have this course handouts and links because there are sometimes when there's like a video I want them to watch, and sometimes I will give handouts several weeks before an assignment is due, and I'm not sure, do I put the handout with the week that the thing is due or the week I gave it out? So I just put everything, I actually put it in both places, but they can always find the handouts and links by just going to this here. And then for my public speaking class, it's pretty much sort of the same thing, except it's not, what did I do? Except I just went and I created the buttons in Canva. Same thing, course information, weekly schedule, course handouts, weekly schedules. The buttons are just a little more, they're not sitcom related, obviously. And again, that they just click on the week. I felt like if I just did week 1, week 2, week 3, yes, I could reuse the buttons, but I can't keep track of what number week we're in. So I need the dates there. So I've got to change them every semester, but that's okay. And then I just use Canva. I subscribe to Canva, and it's very easy to kind of create the images and find images online and create the buttons. It does take a little bit of time, but I just want it to be more pleasing than if I just dumped everything, because if I just sort of dumped everything and the opening page was just this, and they had to scroll down and find what week it was and all that. So I did find that everything imported from Moodle very nice. So I did have to kind of reconfigure some things, but like all the links to YouTube videos, everything was there, that everything came over from the Moodle page. So that worked out very nicely for me. So in terms of, I didn't have to start from scratch. I sort of just had to kind of reorganize a few things, but and again, I'm happy to share the link for the YouTube video if anybody's interested in that, but that's sort of my experience with Canvas.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, Robin, if you could put that link maybe in the chat.
Sure.
And then I can copy it and save it where we share this video out.
Sure. Okay.
But yes, thank you for sharing. I didn't
Okay.
even see all of that. I think I went and looked at one of your pages and saw the little graphics at the front, and I was like, oh, he's got it. So
No.
that's
Okay.
awesome.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have Lana. Or is Katie, are you set to go?
I'm back, and I think I'm set to go. So I'm happy to go if you want me to go now.
Okay, yeah, if you want to try to.
Great. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
All right. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is my homepage for my Principles of Biology course. This is my introductory course. Like other folks have shared, I just made these graphics using Canva. I used like the bug theme, which was actually a set of buttons that seemed to be designed for like Instagram influencers, because like they're set to be like the little story things on Instagram, so you can like put them in your story. But I just adapted them. Obviously they didn't used to say week 1, week 2, I put those words in, but I just adapted them from that. So I have these big pieces of information, some of which are just graphics, like just tells them when the meeting time is. And some of them link to stuff like if you click this, they can download the lab manual. This is a mail to link, so they can email me, they can download the syllabus. And then I set this up a lot like Katie Burpo did, where each week in my course is its own page. And if you click on the page, they go to like a little schedule. It gives them a place to download the lecture slides for each day, any assigned readings, any assignments. This was week 1, so there was no assessments or anything. But if they have like quizzes or exams, they get reminders in there as well. And then this is a course where there's 2 lecture section or 2 sections that meet together for lecture and separately for lab. So I put lab information down at the bottom because it's not always the same day. Like it's not like one day for everybody. So that's kind of how I handle that. Yeah, so that's how I set it up. I like having the weekly pages. I think I've gotten good feedback from the students about having that as an organizational tool is helpful for them. I might do something different with this like big information up here because there's been a couple things I like wanted to add and felt very locked in because I was like locked into this grid. And so then like I wanted to add this and like after the semester had started and it didn't fit into my nice little grid. So I just like added a link. So I might do something different up here. This I specifically include for my first year students to keep people from calling me Mrs. Harris, which sometimes happens with the freshmen. So anyway, that's what I have set up.
Perfect, thank you. And I'm sorry if I missed it. Did you say how long you've been using?
I did not. I forgot that. This is my first semester using Canvas. I was part of the like focus group or whatever we called it last year that did like a little bit of a trial run, but I didn't use it at that point. I just sort of played around with it. So this is my first year using.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I find it very interesting to see how, I know some of you use it and some of you haven't. So just keeping that in perspective, I think is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that leaves Lana, and I'm supposed to share for you. So 1 second.
Oh, I'll stop my share.
Okay. Sorry, my screen's disappeared on me. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yes, I looked at this from a different perspective as to how to, in case in the future anybody needs tips and tricks on how to do these things. So created a quick little agenda for myself, yet at the same time having the tips here at your fingertips in the future in case needed. So I am, of course, in the elementary department, Lana Jochim, and I had never used Canvas until July. And thankfully, I knew Ashley well enough to bug her a lot because I had no idea what it was supposed to look like, what it could look like. And I'm still inspired by all of the other ways that it can look. So that's really exciting to even step away from this and do it completely different. Probably not next semester, but next year. So go ahead. That's, sorry, go back real quick. That first slide is basically what my first page looks like on all of them. I've used a tutorial of Ashley and then buttons from what she's created and links to each month. And then once you go to the month, then you get the breakdown of each week in my page. So go ahead. Thanks. All right. So each week, then once you get into, this is week 7, I was designing 2 days ago and creating this tutorial. This was the preset that Ash had that we could import. And I just used that and go see Ashley if we want to remember how to do that, because that's too far in my brain at the moment. But I used a tutorial she created. Next slide. Canva is also new to me. I had never used Canva. So I've been exploring Canva and all that it offers, all that you can do. Typically take a lot, like somebody else shared, on how they just changed the colors and maybe took some different styles, but made it your own. So that's what I like to do in Canva. Then we can put that into, I have a daily agenda. So if you go to the next slide. Oh, Ashley taught me about HTML coding. This is completely new to me as well. So she shared with me that we can take the coding and put it into Canva. Bear with me. All right, go ahead. And so if you do click the little double arrows at the bottom, it shows your embedding code. And after looking at it and deciding that I have to suck it up and figure this out, because I thought that was the only way I could make it look cute, I realized things such as that P, N, B, S, P, P is just a space. So I started realizing, okay, here's your title, here's this, here's that, and I want this image in between those two things. And so that's what I did. I would go through and put the code, copy the code in Canva and put the code into HTML. And if it worked, great. And if I didn't, I started over. But typically it works pretty easily. Push enter after space. Okay, go ahead. And then that was the coding itself that came from Canva. So I didn't really do any of that other than push enter and go ahead. And the final product then was the format that was there, class content. And then my agenda from Canva is now put into Canvas. If it's 2 pages, it also links it so that it's live and so that it can go to the next page if I have multiple pages in Canva to put in there as well. Next page. So I have learned a couple things. I don't know how many of you are on Mac. If I want to print anything I've made, so my notes pages here that link to our textbook that they're reading, if I don't flatten it before I print it, it's an option, PDF print, and then underneath it, it says flatten. If I click flatten, they'll print out then from Macs and all different types. If you're struggling to have your things print, then that's my tip I'm going to give you, because that's what I found instead of running downstairs and asking somebody on a PC to print my documents for me. Again, I embedded this one and I'm going to show you some quick tips. Next slide. Your editing buttons, that could be your best friend, or the insert link, the insert picture, insert media, insert document, or the other 3 there, that is a link to your Office 360, your Google Docs, or the plugin that you click that little plug and it gets anything that you want from your Canva account and puts it right into your Canvas without having to do the HTML coding. It's just how you want to do it and prefer to do it. Next slide. On my pages each week, then at the bottom, there's assignments, and it was suggested to make your links in multiple places so they can access them. So every time there's something that's linked to another assignment or linked to anything else inside the inside Canvas, then I just make sure to link all of that so that they can't say I couldn't find it. It's always linked everywhere that they see it posted. And that's it. If I can do it, you can do it, because it's been a whirlwind.
All right, well, thank you. Let's see, I'm to keep them traveling on my list here. Okay, Hilary, would you want to share yours next?
Yeah, sure. Give me 2 seconds to get this to share. Okay, you guys can see it on my screen, right? Yeah. Okay, thanks guys. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you for my FYS class just because I think it's a little more fun than my other ones. So this is my first time using Canvas. I have used pretty much every other LMS that there is except for Canvas prior to this point. And I had originally had no plans of doing anything fancy with Canvas. So I kind of skipped on the lovely open houses that Ashley had done, because I was like, I'll just wing it. I'm not going to do anything fancy. And then I saw Sarah Summers' FYS resource page and was like, well, shit. Now I want to do something fun. And so then literally the weekend leading up to the first week of class, this is what I spent doing. And so I guess I did things a little different than it sounds like some other people did. So to create kind of my banner that I have here, this is the same font that I use with my syllabus for my horror class, just because it looks horror-like, you know. But I actually just made this in PowerPoint because I'm not super fancy with Canvas, or Canva rather. But what I found is that you can, you know, just doing a text box just like you would for creating a PowerPoint. PowerPoint actually has all these fun little icons under insert illustrations icons, and you can just search for whatever like type of icon you're looking for. So I just did Halloween because I wanted things that were horror related, and then it popped up with a bunch of different ones. And so I ended up, you can like group these together, and then actually save it as a picture. And so that's how I created that banner that you see here. And so it looks way fancier than it really is. I just changed all the each word to be a different color, just to make it look more fun. But then I have all of these buttons. The icons, again, also came from PowerPoint. But each of the buttons, I just tried to pick things that I felt like the students would need to access frequently. So course resources, most of these link to different modules that are, anything related to the course that they would need. And then like there's for weekly materials. So I've been trying to update this each week to link to the correct week. I haven't obviously updated it for this week yet, or I'm a couple weeks behind, but then it takes them to whatever we've covered that week. And then I won't go to the grades one so you guys can't see people's grades, but I linked one to the grades page if they wanted to see what their grade is. I have one linked to the assignments page, which I think is really helpful. And so for all their different assignments, like if they have to submit an annotation assignment, they can just find the one that corresponds to the correct, assignment. Same with discussion questions or whatever, so that they don't have to like look around. And then I got the idea from Ashley to include a link to schedule a meeting with me. So if they click on this link, you can link it to external things as well. So not just within the Canvas page. So I linked it to my you can book me website, so that if they want to schedule a meeting with me, that they can. And honestly, what I was going to show real quick, because I decided not to go to the open houses, and then I decided I wanted to do all this, I'm like, well, I'm not going to bug Ashley because this is a problem of my own making, so I'm going to figure it out. And so I just started Googling stuff. I just Googled, how do I make a page, and figured out, okay, this is where I'm going to go and edit it. And then I just started playing around. And I think sometimes when we're working with like something new, it's like, oh, I don't want to mess things up. But like we tell our students the same thing, right? Like, don't be afraid to make mistakes or, whatever. And so just play around with it. That's honestly all I did. Tried different things, saved it to see what that looked like. It didn't look like what I wanted it to look like. So then I would go back and edit it again, and just did that until I got what I wanted it to look like. But yeah, I haven't decided if there's like more things that I want to add to the homepage, but I tried to pick the things that I thought would be most used in the class. And like real quick, just to show, so all of my pages look kind of similar, just with different themes depending on what the class is. So like then for this one, I have, since we have exams in that class, I have a link that goes to the anything like exam review or topics and stuff like that. So I think you can really customize it to whatever makes sense for your class. And yeah, I think that's it. So go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. I actually haven't seen it done that way with PowerPoint. So I
Yeah,
didn't realize they had these icons.
Yeah, I know. I for some reason, I don't know if it's an issue just on my computer. My PowerPoint on my campus laptop does not have that option. So I don't know if that, it seemed like you have to like have access like to the paid version or something, and maybe I don't have it set up right on my computer at work. I don't know, but it worked on my personal computer, and so I think there's a way to make it work on my other one. I just couldn't figure that out yet. But yeah, there's a ton of different cute little icons just based off of whatever theme you're going for.
That's great. Thank you. Okay. I think next we have Andrea.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I'll be brief because I know we're running a little bit low on time, and mine's not as unique, but I am in the EBA department, so I teach mainly accounting classes, and this is my first time using Canvas. Like Katie Burpo, I started using it a week before classes started, so it's been a journey. This is one of my home pages. This is for my managerial cost accounting class. I also use Canva quite a bit for my my artwork, or the digital pieces of the pretty stuff is what I call it. So this is a Google, I think it's a Google homepage template, I believe, for this banner here. That's the size that I used. And then I also have a link to their textbook on this homepage. I'm using a free text for my managerial cost accounting class, so I wanted to make sure to put a link so that the students could easily access that. My courses are split up into modules, so I have links to each of the modules here. So if I click on module 9, it will take them to, which after going over this, I'm going to be changing this to a page, but it will actually take them to the modules and all of the different information that is attached to those modules. Module 3 is what we're working in right now, so it's got some more information on there. Let's see, what else do I have? That's pretty much it. I have the syllabus, I have my office hours listed. One thing that I did want to mention is how you actually, once you create your page that you want to be your homepage, and you publish it, to make it your homepage, you would just click this choose homepage. That's something that I had to Google whenever I was doing this, so I just wanted to mention it. Choose homepage, and it would come up and give you the option of choosing that front page for kind of the landing of your Canvas page. So that's all I have.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and I think that leaves us Dan.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's see if we can. Let's see if this works. Uh-oh. So I have a new computer, and it's asking me something I've never seen before about sharing screen here. So let me see. Let me try this again.
That may be what Katie was running
Yeah.
into.
Yeah, I had to change my permissions in my security settings to allow
Okay,
it.
let me see if I can do this quickly. If not, we'll.
If not, just let me know and I can pull your course up too.
Okay. Hold on. I think maybe I have it. If not, we'll. Okay, so let's see if it works or not. All right, it looks like it's going to work. Let's see. Are you all seeing my screen?
Yep.
All right. So long story short, much like many people, I've been using Canvas since mid-August, maybe. My Canvas is like, I guess what I would say is you're looking at a Spanish 111 class. And mine, what I want to do is on my landing page was just keep it super simple and keep it, I like simple, organized, non-cluttered, and I think students generally do. So on this as the landing page, I just wanted to have exactly what the essential things they needed. So I really like Robin's idea about using the buttons to break up the syllabus so that they can get to the different sections of it more easily. I'm not there yet. I have when it comes to images and stuff, mine is like welcome here. It's like I go find it on the internet, I download the JPEG or the PNG or whatever, and I just use the rich text editor to put it in there. That's how far I am so far. And actually everything that's on this page could clearly be done in the rich text editor or whatever the exact terminology is. So I also had the same reaction to the buttons on the Sarah Summers thing. They were awesome. It's like, I got to learn how to do that, but I ran out of time. So this is what I have done. And it's just simple. They can make an office hour appointment there. It's got my office hours. It's got ways they can contact me. I use a messaging app. I have the hyperlink there. They can go to sign into that so that they can get, if I need to get something in front of them, they can see it on their phone, because if I send an email, I can't, if it's urgent, which isn't very often, I don't know how long it'll be till they see it. That's down here. Some of this stuff, I hope, some of these hyperlinks, I hope in the future will go away, because I think maybe, as I understand correctly, the whole thing about the messaging is probably something that Canvas is capable of taking away. But again, I didn't have enough time to get into the weeds of it to do that. So I'm still doing it this way with this outside messaging app. Down here, students in these basic level Spanish classes their daily homework assignments are all on an outside website. I know from talking to Ashley that this outside website is compatible. It could be integrated with Canvas, but we just haven't had enough time to get that straightened out yet. So that's another place they have to go besides Canvas. So I said, let's put it right here on the front page. And so it's obvious, like, go here for your daily assignments. So it's pretty simple, but I like streamlined. The students have said, as far as the landing page is concerned, it's good because we can get in there and find what we need to find. But the ideas about the syllabus, I really like. Break that up. When I learn how to do the buttons, I will do that and bring that out. Because right now, if you go to my syllabus page, because you see under the image the little message there, I mean, it's still it's a link to a PDF. It does have anchors in it so that they can page down quickly to the various different sections. But I think that's a great idea. So I've got to figure that out. The only other thing I would say is those people who are touting the use of the page, I do use the pages. My stuff is all moduled, and it's basically like by like assignment type or lesson type, right? So if they come down here, it's a great place to, as has been said, to dump just class materials. These are all the things I've used in my class. They've got a PowerPoint. They've got songs that we use in class to learn certain vocabulary. They can go, if they like it, they can go click here and use it on their own, right? I have little things I make up so they can play games with partners, but that stuff, then they can access it there if they want to incorporate it into their outside preparation. The pages are really great for that type of thing. So that's my story. Looking forward to discovering more on the buttons. Thank you all for the good ideas on it.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, thank you all for sharing. This is what I loved. As I was skimming through some pages, I was just able to see all the different varieties of creativity that everybody had, and you can definitely tell personalities come out in how you design or lay out your page, which I think is fun. I know we run over a few minutes, but does anybody have any questions that you want to throw around really quick before we release this?
I have a question. Whenever you insert a table into Canvas, I mean, it took me a while to figure out how to get rid of the borders, because you have to click like 4 or 5 different things to get rid of the borders. Is there like you might know of an easier way to do that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you have to click on, you insert the border, and you have to click on options, and you have to click on, click on a drop down menu to scroll down to none. And then to get the outside border, so I struggle with that because I don't like the lines around my tables, just because that's just the kind of person I am. But I just wondered if anybody dealt with that, or if I'm just, weird.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't have a better way to do it.
Because you have to click on table properties, and you have to go to advanced, and you have to select border style, and you have to go down, drop down to none. It's like it's like a 7 or 8 click thing that just seems, let's say, wow, that's a lot to click to get no borders. But I mean, if that's what you have to do, that's what I'll do. But I didn't know if there was an easier, hey, all you have to do is, right click this and the borders go away. So,
yeah. So actually, I learned from another college when I first started using Canvas that even though they haven't built in there, the grids aren't the recommended route for putting pictures in, only because if you look at it on the student app or the teacher app, it gets all discombobulated, and accessibility readers don't read those tables. So I think what I saw with everybody else's, or this is how I've built it, is you just put the picture in there, like just side by side, and then you enter down when you're ready for the next one, and side by side. So it looks like they're in like a graph setting, but they're not. They're just actually just in line with the text, butted up to each other. And that's where somebody had mentioned they were using 20 by 20 size squares. So if you use a consistent size, they'll mesh together to look like they are in a grid of sorts.
but whenever I have mine on my phone, the app, and it's lined up like it is on the non-app version, so it didn't do anything weird to it.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, even though I started a table, with 4x4 table, and then I had to go in, like I said, remove the borders. It on the app, it lines up like it does on when I'm not on the app. So
Well, there you go. That's good then. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, it all depends on, I think, what the size device and what you're using. It
Yeah.
may fluctuate, but however you get the stuff on there you want is totally fine.
And I did put the link to the YouTube video in the chat that talked about how to set up a page and add links to buttons and install buttons. And there's a link to get other buttons and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will share that. So when this is all finished, we'll share out the recording so the people that were not able to join us today can watch it in their own time. So I'll include that. And then I think Lana even said I can share her PowerPoint as well. So any other quick questions before we move on this?
I just want to say thank you all for taking the time to share. And I mean, first of all, taking the risk of putting your own stuff out there for your colleagues. That's a big deal. And I appreciate that. But also, it's really cool to see the variety, and it's not easy to do something new. And so I appreciate you all being willing to share something that even you are still novices at, but helping your colleagues along too.
I tell my students I probably should give them like $1 every time they see a handout that says Moodle instead of Canvas, because I have to go back and change all my hands out that say you can find this on Moodle. It's like, no, it's Canvas now.
Yeah, for me, that's I got one guy who's ongoing joke. I know you do the homework right after class because you're the one that's telling me every other day that you haven't published the assignment yet.
It's always nice to have those students.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
Sarah,
well-
I don't know. I feel like Dan and I need a personal apology for you being the reason that we created our pages.
I just assume that everyone's reaction to me is always, well, shit. So thank you.
No, it was so nice, and I'm like, yeah, it was well shit, but like in a good way, like, well shit, now I have to.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, thank you all for joining and sharing. I'm sure hopefully none of you mind that people may be asking you questions now that you've done this, but of course you're welcome to ask me or, whoever's happy to share their thoughts and comments. But again, just thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure various other faculty will as well. So.
Well, and thanks to you as well for keeping your patience and dealing with all of us, or just me. I don't know, but it's been very helpful.
Well, thanks. All right. Well, the rest of you just enjoy your day, and I guess more creative thoughts for you, huh?
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks.